Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're really not just grazing the surface of self-improvement, are we?
No, not at all. We're going for high leverage.
Exactly. High leverage, we're targeting the absolute smallest efforts that, yield the biggest returns in life satisfaction and performance.
And our sources are pretty fascinating. We've got Harvard social science, studies on elite athletes, and some really surprising lifestyle hacks.
It really stands out to me is how counterintuitive all this is. We're sort of challenging the huge time investments you think you need.
That's the core of it, the idea that to find joy, you first have to accept negative emotions. Or that elite fitness might only take, 20 minutes a day?
It sounds like a paradox. So our mission today is to distill all this into a clear set of protocols for what the experts call happiness, quick fitness gains, and deeper meaning.
Let's start with that emotional revolution. It all begins with a social scientist named Arthur C. Brooks.
Right, the guy who co-authored a book with Oprah Winfrey. And the first thing you learn about him is, well, it's kind of shocking.
It really is. Here's a man who teaches a course on happiness at Harvard, and he openly admits that his own natural disposition is, and I'm quoting here, gloomy and anxious.
Wait, hold on. The professor of happiness at Harvard Business School is naturally gloomy. How are we supposed to trust his methods then? Doesn't that sort of suggest that if you're not born happy, you're just stuck?
Well, not at all. It's actually the opposite. It validates his work. He's not some naturally sunny person telling you to just cheer up. He studies this because it's hard work for him.
So happiness is a skill you have to practice.
It's a skill, and his whole thesis is that happiness isn't a destination you arrive at. It's a direction you're constantly navigating.
And a big part of that navigation is dealing with the bad stuff, not avoiding it.
Exactly. He's radical on this point. He says seeking unmitigated happiness is just counterproductive. The pain, the suffering, the striving, that's all part of the process.
So trying to just push down the bad feelings, it actually stops you from appreciating the good.
Precisely. He quotes research that says, happiness is not the absence of unhappiness. Misery, regret, these are necessary fuel.
Fuel for what, though?
For learning. If you mess up a huge project at work and feel that deep, gut-wrenching regret, that is the single biggest driver to make sure you never make that mistake again. You need that pain.
Okay, that reframes unhappiness from being a failure into, well, a necessary input. So how do we actually use that negative input without, letting it completely derail us?
That's where metacognition comes in.
Thinking about your thinking.
Right. It's the critical hack. When you get a nasty email, your primal brain, the limbic system, it just flares up. It wants to fire back a defensive reply immediately.
When we all know that is never the right move.
Never. So metacognition is about moving that reaction from the impulsive brain to the logical part, the prefrontal cortex. You create a pause.
I love Oprah's framing of this. She says, feel the feel, then take the wheel.
That's it in a nutshell. And the practical step is so simple. Just count, slowly, to 30, before you respond to anything that triggers you.
30 seconds. It sounds so small,
Right.
but I guess it gives your rational brain time to intercept the impulse.
It's just enough time. And beyond just intercepting, Brooks talks about the emotional caffeine swap.
Okay, what's that?
You're not trying to kill the negative emotion. You're just swapping an unhelpful one for one that serves you better.
Like, instead of feeling deep resentment because you missed a promotion, you swap that for gratitude that you still have a stable job.
Yes. And he's really rigorous about the gratitude practice. He recommends writing down 5 things you're grateful for every Sunday. Then you review that list every single night.
That's more than just a passing thought. It's a structured practice.
And it's been shown to improve resilience, sleep, even things like blood pressure.
This all seems to tie into our baseline emotional profiles. The sources mention something called PANAS.
The positive and negative affect schedule. It basically outlines 4 emotional personality types. First, you have the mad scientists. They're high in both positive and negative emotions. They feel everything intensely. They love hard. They hate hard. Brooks says this is him.
Sounds exhausting.
It can be. Then you have the cheerleaders. High positive, low negative. They're just naturally sunny people. But their weakness is that they avoid conflict. They can't deliver bad news.
I know a few of those.
Then the judges. Low positive, low negative. They are cool, sober, unflappable, perfect for high-pressure jobs like a surgeon or a CEO. Oprah says she's a judge.
And the last one.
The poets. Low positive, high negative. They're prone to melancholy, they're contemplative, but also often incredibly creative.
So what's the takeaway here? Just knowing which box you fit in.
It's about connection. Brooks found that the happiest marriages are often between people with competing PNAS profiles.
Oh, that's interesting. So a judge and a mad scientist might actually work well together.
Beautifully. The judge grounds the mad scientist's emotional storms, and the mad scientist brings excitement and joy into the judge's steady life. They balance each other out.
And knowing your type tells you which tools you need most. A mad scientist probably needs that 30-second counting rule more than a judge does.
Far more urgently, yeah.
Okay, so this emotional foundation is set. Let's talk about physical health. Because if we can master our mood, maybe we can master our bodies in less time than we think.
The data just completely demolishes the myth that you need to spend hours at the gym.
I think most people assume you need at least an hour a day to see real benefits.
Well, a huge study, we're talking nearly 12,000 people, found that sitting for 12 hours a day leads to a 38% higher risk of mortality, which is scary.
Very scary.
But, and this is the key, that risk spike was only seen in people who got less than 22 minutes of moderate physical activity a day.
22 minutes. That's it. That is an incredibly high leverage target.
It is. And there's a specific protocol for this from Professor Jens Bangsbo. It's called the 10-20-30 method.
Okay, break that down for us.
Yeah. It's a 1-minute cycle you repeat. You start with 30 seconds of easy jogging, just light cardio, then 20 seconds at a moderate pace, and you finish with 10 seconds of a near-max lung-busting sprint.
Whoa, that 10-second sprint sounds pretty daunting, especially if you're just starting out.
But the key is that it's only 10 seconds. It's brief enough to be tolerable. And you're only aiming for 20 minutes total, breaks included, maybe 2 or 3 times a week.
And the benefits?
They're huge. Better cardiovascular health, much better blood sugar control, even for people with type 2 diabetes. And a single session can trigger a body-wide anti-inflammatory response.
Quick, efficient medicine. I like that. So let's pair this with mental performance. Brooks has this intense morning routine.
It's built around this ancient Vedic idea called Brahma Muhurta, or the creator's time. It's the 96 minutes before dawn.
And that's when he does his most creative work.
Yes, because the brain hasn't been cluttered with the day's demands yet. And he combines this with his exercise. 20 to 40 minutes of fasted Zone 2 cardio.
Zone 2 is that level where you can still hold a conversation, but you're breathing heavily.
Exactly. Around 120 beats per minute. And this is crucial. He does it without headphones.
No music, no podcasts.
None. Because that type of exercise in silence quiets the task-focused part of your brain and activates what's called the default mode network. That's where abstract connections are made. It's where your best ideas come from.
Fascinating. So you're getting a physical and a creative workout at the same time. Let's pivot to some more surprising biohacks, quick wins.
Yeah, we're moving into libido and connection. The obvious one is exercise. One survey found 41% of people feel frisky after a workout. It's the energy and confidence boost.
Makes sense. And what about diet?
Healthy fats are key. Avocado, salmon, they're building blocks for testosterone. But the most surprising one was the humble apple.
An apple.
A study of over 700 women found that eating 1 apple a day significantly improves sexual function scores. It's all about the polyphenols and antioxidants improving blood flow.
An apple a day keeps. Well, anyway. Then there were some stranger ones, something about smell?
Yeah, a study found that sniffing an armpit your own or a partner's stimulates dopamine release. It's a really primal driver for bonding and attraction.
I'm not sure how I feel about that one, but okay. And for a really quick boost.
Down a triple espresso, strong coffee is a vasodilator, meaning it stimulates blood vessels, which can enhance blood flow everywhere it counts.
Okay, so from physical flow, let's move to a more existential flow. The sources warn about a meaning crisis.
Brooks's research found what he calls a psychogenic epidemic of anxiety and depression, especially in young, educated adults. They don't feel their lives are hard, they feel they're meaningless, or worse, simulated.
And that feeling of meaninglessness is directly tied to anxiety.
Directly. He says meaning has to be built on 3 pillars. The first is coherence, basically, understanding why things happen.
Having a worldview.
Right. Second is purpose, knowing why you're doing what you're doing, having a direction. And the third is significance.
And significance is about why your life matters. He says you don't find that on Instagram.
No, you find it in deep, costly commitments. Love, family, faith, community, not in fleeting digital metrics.
This connects right back to that idea of a simulated life, which he says comes from being stuck in the me-self.
The self-absorbed self, which is a breeding ground for anxiety. The goal is to live more in the I-self, the one that is just observing the world.
And the biggest engine for that me-self is social media. It's a virtual mirror.
It's worse. It's a slot machine. The variable rewards of likes and comments trigger dopamine and reinforce this obsessive self-focus.
So what's the protocol to fight it?
It's a bit harsh. Limit all social media to 1 hour a day. And more importantly, remove the apps from your phone. Create friction. Make it harder to access.
You even suggest physical things like removing mirrors from your house.
Or just having a rule to only look once in the morning. The goal is to stop the constant self-assessment and turn your focus outward.
Which is essential for our connections with others. Grace makes this brilliant distinction between complicated and complex problems.
Yeah, this is a fantastic framework. A complicated problem, like a jet engine, is static. It's solvable. You can break it down and find a perfect solution.
A complex problem.
A complex problem is easy to understand but impossible to solve. It can only be lived.
And marriage, family, deep friendships, those are all complex problems.
Exactly. You never solve your spouse. You just live the relationship. And knowing that changes how you handle conflict.
How so?
You stop trying to find a permanent fix. And you change your language. He says to ban personal singular and second-person pronouns in an argument.
So instead of, you always come home late,
You say, we need to talk about what time we come home. It reframes it from a personal attack into a shared problem that you have to navigate together.
that one change could save a lot of relationships. Finally, he talks about friendships needing beautiful uselessness.
I love that phrase. It means the highest form of friendship serves no practical purpose. It's not about networking or mutual benefit. It's just about the pure joy of that person's company.
The friend you call just to talk, not to solve a problem.
If all your relationships are transactional, you're missing out on the unconditional connection that is fundamental to a significant life.
Wow. We've covered so much ground, from, managing our emotional chemistry to getting huge health gains in under 22 minutes.
And learning that the key to significance is to limit that me-self and commit to these deep, complex, livable connections.
It seems like neurophysiologically, modern life pushes us really hard into the left hemisphere of the brain.
It does. That's the part that handles the how and the what. How do I fix this? What's the next step? It's all logic and tasks.
And that starves the right hemisphere, the part that deals with why, with mystery and meaning and love.
And opening that right hemisphere means deliberately choosing to live in a way that was, as he says, absolute ordinary not that long ago. It's about deep relationships and quiet contemplation.
That's a profound shift in perspective. And if we could leave you with one final thought today, it comes from this definition of suffering. Suffering equals pain multiplied by resistance.
If we accept that pain is a teacher, as Brooks suggests, and we commit to love as an action, not just a feeling, how much resistance can you afford to drop today?
And what new meaning might that pain reveal?
As Brooks says, if you don't know what to do today, turn off your device and go love somebody.